Good day, ma'am. I am Justine Claret A. Piscadero, and now I am going to tackle about what environmental problems arise from food production. The good news is the specular increases in the world's food production since 1950. The bad news is the harmful environmental effects associated with such production increases summarize the harmful effects of modern agriculture on air, fertile soil, water, and biodiversity. According to many analyses, agriculture has a greater total harmful environmental impact than any human activity. Some scientists warn that these environmental effects may limit future food production and make it unsustainable. Here, we explore such effects in greater depth, starting with the problems of erosion and degradation of soil. First, before food production even begins, natural habitat and ecosystem are destroyed to clear land that will be used for agriculture. Habitat loss is one of the leading causes of population declines among wildlife species, eventually leading to extinction in many cases. When trees are cut down to make space for farmland and local species who survive must relocate to find new homes. This type of deforestation is known as land use change and is a huge contributor to climate change, as forests are major carbon sinks that remove greenhouse gases from that atmosphere. Use of chemicals for agriculture. Once the land has been cleared, it must be primed to grow large amounts of food. This is done using heavily application of artificial herbicide and fertilizers. The herbicides are intended to prevent the growth of unwanted plants that would steal nutrients from the crop, and the fertilizers increase the nutrients available in the soil so that the crop's yield is maximized. Unfertile soils may require even larger amount of fertilizer to meet the demand for agriculture productions. Once planted, fertilizers, herbicides, and artificial pesticide are all used throughout the growing process to help to promote a plant growth while simultaneously preventing competition from other plants and degradation from crop-eating plants. The exorbitant use of fertilizers, herbicides, and pesticides is unsustainable and environmentally damaging for two reasons. First and foremost, they are chemicals that can be toxic with organisms are exposed to high concentrations, while the methods by which these chemicals are applied to crops prevent them from accumulating on the food in harmful concentrations. They are difficult for our bodies to process, and consuming large amount of food treated in this manner could lead to health impacts through bioaccumulations. Application of these chemicals onto crops also causes them to be released into the atmosphere as harmful air pollutant. Agricultural runoff from heavy rains removes chemicals from the site of food production and transport them to other locations, polluting soils, waterways, and other ecosystem. When natural systems are polluted in this way, the chemicals are absorbed into the tissue of simple organisms like algae. These simple organisms are eaten by larger animals further up the food chain, and instead of being destroyed, the chemicals accumulate in the bodies of larger animals. Through this process, known as bioaccumulation, Chemicals released into natural ecosystem are able to grow to potentially toxic concentration. At this point, they damage the health of the ecosystem by reducing fertility, causing irreparable genetic damage, or even killing important populations. The second topic that I'm going to tackle about: how can we protect crops from pests more sustainably? When we clear forests and grasslands, plant monoculture crops, and douse fields with chemicals that kill pests, we upset many of these natural population checks and balances that helps to implement the biodiversity principle of sustainability. Then we must devise and pay for ways to protect our monoculture crops, tree plantation, lawns, and golf course from insect and other pests that nature once largely controlled, and no change. We have developed a variety of pesticides, chemicals used to kill or control population of organisms that we considered undesirable, such as insect, weeds, rats, and mice. We did not invent the use of chemicals to repel or kill other species. For nearly 225 million years, plants that have been producing chemicals to ward off, deceive, or poison herbivores that feed on them. This battle produces a never-ending, ever-changing co-evolutionary process. Herbivores overcome various plant defense through the natural selection. The new plant defenses are favored by natural selection, and the process is repeated in this ongoing cycle of evolutionary punch and counter punch. Since 1950, pesticide use has increased more than 50-fold, and most of today's pesticides are 10 to 100 times more toxic than those used in the 1950s. About 3/4 of these chemicals are used in developed countries, but their use in developing countries is soaring. Some pesticides called broad-spectrum agents are toxic to many pests, but also to beneficial chlorinated hydrocarbon compounds such as DDT and organophosphate compounds such as malathion and parathion. Others, called selective or narrow spectrum agents, are effective against a narrowly defined group. Pesticides vary in their persistence, the length of time they remain deadly in the environment. Some, such as DDT and related compounds, remain in the environment for years and can be biologically modified in food chains and webs. Others, such as organophosphate, are active for days or weeks and are not biologically magnified but can be highly toxic to humans. About 1/4 of the pesticides used in the United States are aimed at reading houses, gardens, lawns, parks, playing fields, swimming pools, and golf courses of pets. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, the average lawn in the United States is doused with the times more synthetic pesticide per unit of land area than what is put on U.S. cropland. In 1962, biology Rachel Carson warned against relying on synthetic organic chemicals to kill insect and other species we regard as pets. And that's all. Thank you.